Hi, I'm Emmanuel and welcome to my next playthrough. Yes, once again we are playing the Legends of Drizzt board game from Dungeons and Dragons game. We won the last one using Drizzt. This time we're going to be using a two heroes for this game. The setup, I'm gonna play with Bruenor Battlehammer and his adoptive daughter Catti Bree, a human archer. So let's look at Bruenor Battlehammer. He is a dwarf fighter. Bruenor leads the tattered remnants of his clan on an epic quest to reclaim his ancestral home, Mithril Hall. He's got an armor class of 16, 10 hit points, a speed of 5, and a surge value of 5. His special ability is he's got a headbutt. At the end of your hero phase, you can take 1 damage to deal 1 damage to an adjacent monster. And we're going to be playing the game with suggested powers. The suggested powers for according to the adventure book. And one thing to note is when Bruenor levels up, there is an error that the game designer has provided a correction for. Over here it says, when you level up, select an additional daily power, fighter daily power. There are no additional fighter daily powers. Instead, I will show you what happens. So here's his powers. Here's his utility power, Power Strike. Bruenor drives his notched axe deep into the flesh of his foe. This card starts with 3 Power Strikes tokens on it. And once each time your hero hits an adjacent monster, you can remove 1 Power Strike from this card. And if you do, the attack deals +1 damage to that monster. If there are no Power Strike tokens remaining, flip over this card. And if an ability flips this card face up, add add Power Strike tokens up to a total of 3. Now, the designer corrected the upgrade for this character by saying you add 3 more Power Strike tokens to this when he levels up, so he can have a maximum total of 6 Power Strikes, which is awesome. His at-will power is Notched Axe. 1 downed foe is as good as another. Attack 1 adjacent monster, and during each of your hero phases, if this attack misses, you can use this power against a different monster, which means he can use it against 2 adjacent monsters to at least try to hit once. His other utility power is Clan Battlehammer Shield. Bruenor proudly bears the shield emblazoned with a foaming mug. Use at the start of your hero phase and place your stance token on this card. While your stance token is on this card, your hero gains a +2 bonus armor class. His other utility power is Legendary Knowledge. Driven by visions of Mithril Hall, Bruenor leads his companions unerringly. During your hero phase, look at the top 2 of the dungeon stack right off camera. And you can put one of those tiles on the bottom of the stack and the other on top. You cannot put an adventure specified tile on the bottom of the stack. Flip this card after use. So this is helpful to go through the stack faster. His other utility power over here is Lucky Hit. Luck's as good as a skill if it gets results. After making a die roll, re-roll the die roll. So this is great if he misses, and these are his powers. Catti Bree, the human archer, she's got ranged attacks, and as the adopted daughter of Bruenor, Catti Bree is fiercely devoted to Clan Battlehammer. She's got an armor class of 15, 6 hit points, a 6 speed, and a surge value of 3. She has Quick Step. At the end of your exploration phase, you can move up to 2 squares. And powers, well, we're not going to use this list. We're going to be using the list that is provided as a recommended starting abilities for this character in the adventure. Her at-will power, she's got Talmaril. This enchanted bow once hung in a chamber honoring ancient heroes of Mithril Hall. Attack 1 monster within 2 tiles of your hero. You cannot attack with this power if your hero is adjacent to a monster. Next one, another at-will power, Kazadehea. This intelligent sword thirsts for blood and demands to be fed. Attack each adjacent monster. Then your hero takes 1 damage. So this is great when you're surrounded. A daily power, Clustered shot. A cascade of arrows strikes down your foes. Choose a tile within 2 tiles of your hero and attack each monster on that tile. You cannot attack with this power if your hero is adjacent to a monster. And it does a minimum of 1 damage on a miss. Next power, utility power, falling hail stance. A rain of arrows sends your enemies fleeing for cover. Use at the start of your hero phase. Place your stance token on this card, and while the card has your stance token on it, your hero gains a +4 to attack rolls. Hit or miss, you can move the monster you attacked 1 tile in any direction. Finally, Heartseeker. Not finally. Next, we have Heartseeker stance. Your arrows dig deep into your opponent's flesh. Use at the start of your hero phase and place a stance token on this card. While this card has your stance token on it, your attacks deal +1 damage on a hit. And finally, the last one here, daily power headshot. When fired with patience and skill, a single arrow can bring down the deadliest foe. Attack 1 monster within 2 tiles of your hero. You cannot attack with this power if your hero is adjacent to a monster. It's a +6 attack. It does a minimum of 1 damage on a miss, and it does 3 damage on a hit. Note that cards that talk about monsters do not apply when we are playing with villains. So to save space, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hit points right here on top of the character picture. So Bruenor starts with 10, Catti-brie starts with 6. I'll spread out the cards. Here are their miniatures. Here's Bruenor's miniature. He's got his shield with the foaming mug on it and his axe over here. Really cool. And Catti-brie is here with her, she's pulling an arrow out of her quiver. She's got her sword and her bow. Really, really cool. Let's look at the other details of the setup. So we are doing adventure number 2. Place each hero on any square of the start tile. So let's go and put Catti-brie over here, and we'll put Bruenor over here. The broken door tile, it will be between the 9th and the 12th tile, and each at the starting awards, we start with 2 healing surges, which are just off screen over there, and each hero draws a random item card from the treasure deck. We are searching for the tile called the broken door, and let's look over here for Bruenor. We're looking for an item. He will start with, he has the Brooch of Shielding. This small silver pin can halt the damage even from an unerring strike of a magic missile. Reduce damage. When your hero takes damage, reduce the damage by 1 and flip this card after use. And let's see what Catti-brie gets. She gets a Mask of Disguise. This enchanted mask allows the wearer to look like anyone. When a monster not on your hero's tile activates, your hero does not count as the closest hero to that monster. And then flip this card over after use. That is awesome. Let's give these a shuffle. Here's the encounter deck. Let's give these a shuffle. And here is the monster deck. Now, as per the recommendations, I am only playing with cards numbered 1 to 100 for the first 4 adventures. Let me get everything set up and we'll get right to the game. All right, let's get to it. So we're going to start right away from the hero phase, and Bruenor will immediately use his utility power over here. Since it's his only stance, there's no reason why we shouldn't use it right away. It says use at the start of your hero phase. Place your stance token on this, and while the stance token is on this, he has +2 armor class. So might as well use this right away at the start of the turn. So let's go right ahead. He has done his hero phase, so it's exploration phase right here. We'll pull the top tile from the card, and what we get? We get a narrow passage. And it is a white arrow, therefore there is no encounter. Let's draw a monster for that tile. For the monster for that tile, we get a spider swarm. Vermin, armor class 12, 1 hit point. If the spider swarm is on a tile with a poisoned hero, each poisoned hero on that tile takes 1 damage. If the spider swarm is within 1 tile of the hero, it moves to the closest hero's tile and attacks each hero on that tile with 1,000,000 venomous fangs. Otherwise, the spider swarm moves one tile towards the closest hero. It's worth 2 experience. It is a +7 attack, and it does poisoned. It gives a poisoned condition. So this goes to Bruenor. Let me put this over here on Bruenor's side, because these rats activate when Bruenor is active. And now it's time to activate monsters. If the spider swarm is within one tile of the hero, it is. So it moves to the closest hero tiles and it attacks each hero on the tile with 1,000,000 bites. So let's move the rats, the spiders over to here, right next to Bruenor. And Bruenor, mind you, has +2 to his armor class. So let's go here and see. 5. 5 + 7 is 12. Bruenor has an armor class of 16, and the spider swarm misses. And now to attack Caddy Bree. 12 + 7 is 19, which exceeds the 15. Caddy Bree is poisoned. I put this token on her to remind us that she's poisoned. You take 1 damage at the start of your hero phase and discard this marker at the end of your hero phase if you roll 10 or more. Let's put that right there. Now it's Caddy Bree's turn. At the start of her turn, she is poisoned, so she takes 1 damage. And let's see. She's not going to move. She's going to be attacking the rat swarm. She's going to be attacking the rat swarm with Talmoril over here. She has a +6 on her attack. But before she does that, let's do her stance. She's going to do this stance over here, which gives her +4 to her attack. So she's got +10 on this attack. And she gets 9 + 10 is 19. She hits the spider swarm, and the spiders are defeated. I will put this let's put these right off camera over here. And let's see. If she gets rid of the poison condition, she has to roll a 10 or higher on the die. And we rolled an 11, and she is no longer poisoned. And the rat swarm is gone. That is awesome. She's finished her actions, and so she gets to explore the cavern over here. So let's grab the second tile. And here we have a white tile, a simple hall. Let's see what monster we drew for this tile. We drew another spider swarm. This time the spider swarm will be on Caddy Bree's side over here. Let's go ahead and activate the monsters. They move on to, we saw what happened with the last one. They move on to the tile. He'll move adjacent to Caddy Bree over here and attacks everyone with a +7 attack. House rules, if the die comes out of the dice tray, it doesn't count. So attacking Caddy Bree. 11 + 7 is 19. That is a hit, and she is poisoned. And now for Bruenor, who has +2 to his armor class. 6 + 7 is 13, and the rats miss Bruenor. And that is the end of Caddy Bree's turn. So now it is back to Bruenor. He will start his round by attacking with his notched axe. It's a +7 attack. 19 + 7, that is a hit. The rats, I keep saying rats, because in the other games it's a swarm of rats, but the spiders are gone. So we have another 2 experience. I forgot that for the first spider swarm, we were supposed to draw a treasure card. So this will be for the first spider swarm. We would have had a potion of healing. During your hero phase, your hero or an adjacent hero gets 2 hit points. Let's give this to Caddy Bree because she has the least amount of hit points. So when we find the treasure, we can decide at the beginning, as soon as we draw it, who is going to get it. So I'm going to put it just down here. And the second treasure over here for the one that we just killed is a flask of oil. Lamp oil makes a powerful impromptu weapon, and choose a tile 1 tile away from your hero, and attack each monster on that tile. I'm going to give this one to Bruenor because Bruenor does not have any ranged attacks that he can do. Now Bruenor has the rest of his turn. He has a movement of 5. He's going to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put this token on him here to remind us that he has a -4 to his armor class. And he ends his turn next to Unexplored Edge. So let's look at the next tile. This one is a corner. It has a white triangle, so there is no encounter. But what is the monster on this tile? We have a Hypnotic Spirit. 14 armor class, 1 hit point. And if the Hypnotic Spirit is within 1 tile of a hero, it moves to the closest hero's tile and attacks each hero on that tile with a horrifying howl. Otherwise, the closest hero moves 2 tiles closer to the Hypnotic Spirit. It has a +6 attack with doing 1 damage and is worth 1 experience point. This is Bruenor's monster. I will put it on top of his flask here just so that we can see it on camera. Let's get that miniature. Looks like this. Translucent blue miniature. Very cool. Put that on the mushrooms over here. And, oh, I forgot to show you the spider one. That's what it looks like. A whole bunch of little spiders. Very cool. So the Hypnotic Spirit activates. It is within 1 tile of the hero, so it moves up to the closest hero's tile and attacks each hero with a horrifying howl. So it moves to the tile. Let's put the spirit right next to Bruenor over here with the reminder that the spirit also now has a -4 to their armor class. And let's see what happens with the die roll. Whoops. 4. 4 + 6 is 10, and that misses Bruenor. And that is the end of his turn. So now it is Caddy Bree's turn. First, at the beginning of her turn, she will take 1 damage for that poison. So she goes from 5 down to 4. And she is going to use her bow. Attack 1 monster within 2 tiles of your hero. You cannot attack with this power if your hero is adjacent to a monster. So she's going to go ahead and use that. She does have a +4 to hit. And she rolls a 14, which is just what she needed to hit the spirit. The spirit also has an armor class of 14, and she handily defeats the spirit. We now have a total of 5 experience points, and the spirit is gone. We also get a treasure. We get a heavy cloak. You wrap yourself in a voluminous cloak, deflecting an attack. When your hero is targeted by an attack that targets more than 1 hero, the attack misses your hero. Let's give that to... Well, Caddy Bree has the lowest amount of hit points. So let's give this to Caddy Bree. I'm going to put it under her potion because she will be using her potion this turn. Might as well use it now. She is going to use it now to heal 2 hit points. So let's take 3 off and go back to 6 hit points. So that gets discarded. And now she still has the move. She did an attack. Now she still has a move. She's got a movement rate of 6. So she will come down and join Bruenor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this tile, giving her a -4 armor class. However, she did not end her turn on an unexplored edge, so we will be having an encounter. But first, at the end of her hero phase, she gets to see if she can get rid of the poison. And she rolls an 8. The poison persists. So let's go see the encounter. We do have enough experience to avoid this if it's a particularly bad one. Event, attack, stale air. In the Underdark, fresh air is in short supply. Attack each hero, discard after playing. It's a +8 attack, doing 1 damage to each. So let's go ahead and roll the attack on Caddy Bree first. This is a 7 + 8 is 15. That is enough to hit her, so she takes 1 damage. And now for Bruenor, 11. 11 + 8 is 19. That is also enough to hit Bruenor. So Bruenor gets his first hit and is now down to 9 hit points. Bruenor is going to go. And he is simply going to move right over to here and explore that edge. Is he changing anything? He is not changing anything. Let's go. Grab the next tile. It has a black triangle on it. Therefore, we will have an encounter. But first, let's see what monster we get. We get a Goblin Cutter. Armor class of 12, 1 hit point. If the Goblin Cutter is within one tile of a hero, it moves adjacent to the closest hero and attacks that hero with a crude dagger. Otherwise, the Goblin Cutter moves 1 tile towards the hero with the fewest hit points. He's worth 1 experience and does a +7 attack with 1 damage, and that will be Bruenor's monster. Let's have a look at the Goblin Cutter miniature. Here we go. You got a little smiling goblin with a knife. Really, really cool. So the Goblin activates. He is within a tile of a hero. It moves adjacent to the closest hero and attacks. So he's just going to move 1 space over here and attack Bruenor. Let's not forget that Bruenor has +2 armor class because of his stance. So this is a 3. That is a clear miss. Nothing happens. Let me finish with Catti-Brie's turn. We will go ahead and... so Catti-Brie will move first. But first, she'll take 1 damage because of the poison. She is now back down to 4. She's going to move first. She's going to have. She's going to move right to the edge of this tile. She can move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to end her turn here, and she's going to attack that Goblin Cutter. And she rolls a 16. That is a hit, and the Goblin Cutter is gone. 1 more experience to the experience pile. Let's see what treasure the Goblin Cutter dropped. We have Bolster. A few words of encouragement fortify your companion's resolve. Choose 1 hero. That hero either regains 1 hit point or ends 1 condition on him or her. Well, we're going to choose Catti-Brie, and we're going to remove the poisoned condition just to avoid having bad luck with the die roll. The goblin is gone. Let's look at the next tile. It has a black triangle. It is a volcanic vent. And we will have an encounter as well as a monster. So let's see what monster we get. We get a Goblin Archer. 12 armor class, 1 hit point. If the Goblin Archer is adjacent to a hero, it cowers in fear and does nothing. If the Goblin Archer is within 2 tiles of a hero, it attacks the closest hero with a barbed arrow. Otherwise, the Goblin Archer moves 1 tile towards the hero with the fewest hit points. It's a +7 attack, doing a minimum of 1 damage, but 2 damage on a hit, 1 damage on a miss, and he is worth 1 experience. Let's put the Goblin Archer right here. And, whoops, that's the wrong guy. This is what the Goblin Archer looks like. He's got a little top knot. Little bow, shield on his back. Really, really cool. And he's right here at the back of the cavern. He activates, and the closest hero is Catti-Brie, so he's going to go ahead and try to hit her with his barbed arrow. He has a +7 attack. He rolls a 19. That definitely hits, and she will be taking 2 damage. I'm going to say over here that this is the Mask of Disguise triggers, because it says when a monster not on your hero's tile activates, this one is not on your hero's tile, your hero does not count as the closest hero. So the archer is attacking Bruenor, and Bruenor is within 2. He rolled a 19. 19 +7 is definitely a hit for Bruenor, so Bruenor takes 2 damage instead. So he takes 2 damage, and we get to flip this card after use. There we go. Let's move the heavy cloak up to here now to save space. I'm a little bit flexible with this, with the timing, because you can't really plan these things. I can't keep my track of everything at once all the time. So let's continue now. That is the end of the round, but I forgot to do the encounter. So let's retro this. So before the attack, so Bruenor does have 2 more hit points. Let's see what the encounter does. Apologies for this. Let's go ahead and do the encounter. And we have event, attack, spell, web. A snare of webs halts, lulls foes. Attack each hero on your hero's tile, and each hero will It's a +8 attack, and it gets you immobilized. Let's go ahead, and Caddy Bree is the only one on the tile, so 17, she is immobilized. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click on my logo to subscribe, and here is a video that might be of interest to you, as well as a playlist of other playthroughs on my channel. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching.